Hansel and Gretel, a German fairy tale. Illustrated by Marina Leray. Once there lived a poor woodcutter and his family. One year, a famine spread throughout the land. "We can no longer feed ourselves," said the woodcutter. "What shall we do?" His wife replied, "Tomorrow we will take Hansel and Gretel deep into the woods and leave them. We'll have 2 less mouths to feed." The woodcutter was horrified, for he loved his children, but he didn't know what else to do. The children had been listening through the wall. They had heard what their stepmother had said. "Don't worry, Gretel," said Hansel. "I'll save us." Hansel crept outside and stuffed his pockets with bright white rocks. In the morning, their father walked them deep into the woods. Hansel dropped the rocks behind them, one by one. Far in the woods, the woodcutter made a fire. "Rest here," he said. Soon the children were asleep. At midnight, they woke up and their father was gone. But Hansel's rocks shone a path in the moonlight. The children followed the rocks. By morning, they were home. Their stepmother was furious. That night, she told her husband, "We must try again tomorrow." Then she bolted the door so Hansel could not collect rocks. In the morning, Hansel shoved a piece of bread in his pocket. As they walked, Hansel dropped breadcrumbs. Again, the woodcutter made a fire, and the children fell asleep. When they woke, their father was gone. But this time, there was no path. Birds had eaten the bread. Poor Hansel and Gretel! They wandered through the woods with nothing to eat but a few berries. On the 3rd day, the birds appeared and led them to a little house made of sugar. "The roof is cake!" exclaimed Hansel. "The windows are sugar!" As the children feasted, an old woman hobbled out. "Nibble, nibble, little mouse," she said. "Who's nibbling at my house?" The old woman invited the children in and made them pancakes with honey. Then she put them to bed. Little did the children know, she was really a witch. The next morning she locked Hansel in a cage. "I shall eat you," she said, "but first I'll fatten you up." Several days later, the witch decided it was time to eat Hansel. She put wood in the oven to make it nice and hot. "Gretel," she said, "get into the oven and tell me if it's hot enough." "I don't understand," lied Gretel. "Show me." "You fool," cried the witch. "You crawl in like this." When the witch was halfway in the oven, Gretel shoved her and locked the latch. The witch howled, and then it was quiet. Gretel found the key to the cage and set Hansel free. The 2 of them raced back to their home. When their father saw them, he was overjoyed, for he had been heartbroken without them. As for their stepmother, she had already died. The end.